Hi, fourth graders. Today we are on Module 5, Lesson 19, and we are adding and subtracting fractions using word problems. And you'll notice that we have 3 pages today. So make sure on your table of contents you plan that accordingly, and then head to your note page. And we will be ready for our first problem. Now each problem has its own page because it's a word problem. It's going to take a little bit more space. Okay, let me adjust that really quick. So here's our objective. It says, I can add and subtract more than 2 fractions using the read, draw, write method. All right, here's our first read problem. Sue ran 9/10 mile on Monday and 7/10 mile on Tuesday. How many miles did Sue run in the 2 days? Now remember that when we do our read step, I need to do our cub process. And that means that I circle my number words and labels, I underline my question, and I box my important key words. And so let's go ahead and do this read step. Sue ran 9/10 mile. Oop, there's a number in its label. On Monday. And 7/10 mile, oh, there's a number in its label, on Tuesday. How many miles did Sue run in the 2 days? There's my question, underline. How many miles did she run in the 2 days? And now I want to box those key words, and I've got a couple that stood out to me. In the 2 days stood out to me. There was one other word when we said and. So when I see 2 numbers and in the middle in the 2 days, that tells me that my operation that I'm going to be using is addition. So I'm going to go ahead and circle it that way. Okay. So my next step is to draw, and I'm going to work on my picture first. So I have a tape diagram here, and I know that I need a part, and a whole. Well, I know that Monday, I'm going to put a little M here, she ran 9/10 mile. And I'm going to put a little M for mile. And on Tuesday, that's another part, she ran 7/10 mile. So what I'm missing, and let's make sure this matches with my question, is my whole, my total, which tells me how many she ran in the 2 days, which is what exactly I'm trying to figure out. Okay? So my picture is ready. And now I can show my work, which would look like this. 9/10 plus 7/10 equals, okay, well, I can just add that, but maybe it's a little bit tricky. And when I see a 9, I'm going to think about breaking this into 1/10 and 6/10. And that way I can look and say, oh, this right here is going to be simple for me to add. So I can do 9/10 plus 1/10 equals 10/10. And then there was these 6/10 left over. But let me look here for a minute. 10/10. 10/10 is the same thing as 1. And then I know that I had these 6/10. Then I needed to stick back on to equal 1 6/10. Now, if I added this the first time and said 9 plus 7 equals 16/10, I know that 16/10 is equal to 1 6/10. Okay, so either one of those is a correct answer. So Sue ran 1 6/10 miles. Always remember you need that label on there so we know what we're talking about. All right, flip to page 2 and let's do our read, draw, write step one more time. All right, this time it says, Mr. Salazar cut his son's birthday cake into 8 pieces. Mr. Salazar, Mrs. Salazar, and the birthday boy each ate 1 piece of cake. What fraction of the cake was left? All right, let's get back to our cub steps. I'm going to circle numbers and labels. 8 pieces is one that I found. Okay. They each ate 1 piece of cake. Now I need to look for what's my question? What fraction of the cake was left? All right, and now I need to box those important math words. Well, right there in the question, what was left? I also notice that it was cut into 8 pieces, and each person ate 1 piece. So when I'm looking at these pictures, I can make in my head a picture of something being cut, a cake, of being cut into pieces. Some people each ate a piece, so that means it was gone. How much was left? I'm going to be subtracting. So let's draw a picture. I've got a cake, so I'm going to draw a long tape diagram that will be my cake. And it was cut into 8 pieces. Notice that I'm going all the way back into my problem. My whole piece is 1 piece of my cake, my whole, and I need to cut it into 8 pieces. There's my 8 pieces. Now, here's what else I know in my information. Mr. Salazar, 1 person. Mrs. Salazar, oh, there's 2 people. And the birthday boy, oh, there's a 3rd person. Each ate 1 piece of cake. So I'm going to color and shade the pieces that were eaten. There's 1 for Mr. Salazar. There's 1 for Mrs. Salazar. Here's 1 for the birthday boy. And this is what had been eaten. This is what they ate. Okay, so this is my picture. And I'm going to say over here, this is what I had left. Well, I can see in my picture, and this is going to be super helpful, that I'm going to be able to figure out my problem now. Okay, so now I need to solve showing my numbers. And so I had 1 whole cake. So if I had my 1 whole cake, but I know I'm going to be subtracting some fractions, I need to figure out, well, what is my fraction over here? My 1 whole is 8/8 because I had 8 pieces of my cake. And I'm going to subtract, so I'm going to rewrite 8/8 minus 1, 2, 3/8 equals, here's what's left, and we'll see if it matches our picture, 5/8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It sure does. So how much of the cake was left? 5/8 of the cake was left. All right, we've got 1 more today. We're going quickly. You're doing a great job. 1 more reading carefully on these word problems. All right. Mrs. Jones had 1 4/8 pizzas left after a party. After giving some to Gary, she had 7/8 pizza left. What fraction of a pizza did she give to Gary? All right, let's do our cub. I'm going to circle my numbers. 1 4/8 pizza. I had 7/8 pizza. There's my numbers. My question, what fraction of pizza did she give to Gary? And what were some important words? She had 1 4/8 pizza left after a party. She gave some to Gary. And again, she had this much left. What fraction did she give Gary? Well, I'm seeing all those words giving and left, so that tells me, again, I'm going to subtract. So let's draw our picture. She had 1 4/8 pizza after the party. So that's my total. That's what she had available. 1 4/8. Okay. Then she gave some to Gary, and she gave 7/8 away to Gary. Oh, I'm sorry, I read that incorrectly. She gave some to Gary. We don't know what she gave to Gary, but she had 7/8 left. I apologize. That was the leftover part. Okay, so we need to figure out, well, what did she give Gary? And that's what my question was asking. So I'm going to start with 1 4/8. And I want to turn that into just a fraction. So let's take our number bond and say that my 1 whole is 8/8. And the part was 4/8. So we're kind of doing our number bond a little bit backwards, aren't we? And now I can add these 2 together, and I have 12/8. So I did my number bond a little bit backwards. So I said, well, 1 whole is 8/8. 4/8 is left. I add those together to get 12/8. Now I can subtract and say 12/8 minus the part that I do know, 7/8 equals 5/8. So Mrs. Jones gave 5/8 of the pizza to Gary. Fourth graders, you did a great job. Remember, that read step is so important so you can determine how you're going to solve each of those word problems. Great job today.